Hey, what's up? My name is Jay, and in this video, I want to show you how you can create your own custom block using Advanced Custom Fields Pro. Okay, so if you don't know what a block is, let's go to my dashboard right here. Let's create like a new page. And here you can see when you create the page, you will have the option to add blocks to your page. And we have like a ton of blocks here and categories. And then you can choose one, like click one of them, and then you can do whatever you want. So we want to create our own block, and we're gonna use Advanced Custom Fields, okay? All right, let me remove this one. Make sure we have like a blank page. Let's go back to Advanced Custom Field page. Here's a documentation, very easy to follow. As you can see, like a very simple code to get started. So let's scroll down a little bit more. And you can see here's a getting started thing. And we're gonna start by creating this code right here. So the first thing I want you to do is open your theme in your text editor. So I'm gonna open my text editor. And here you can see I have my theme. This is a child theme, okay? So make sure you create a child theme. I think it's an amazing practice instead of like editing your core files. So we're gonna go to the functions.php, okay? I have already some stuff here. So here at the end, I'm gonna go ahead and start coding and creating my block. So I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna copy all this code. We're gonna register our first block, okay? Let's copy, let's go back, and let's paste it right here. All right, so now my goal is to create a block for like a player. It can be like a basketball player, football player. So you can add like the photo of the player, you can add the name, you can add the number of that player, maybe the position, maybe a little bit of description. So that's what I want to do. All right, so my block is going to be called player. So let's go ahead and let's start. You can remove this comment, but it's good to have comments. So register a player block, and then here the name, of course, we're gonna change it to player, and the title is gonna be player. And description, this can be whatever I want, but let's just keep it simple. Whoops, a custom player block. Awesome. So this is the template. And as you can see, there's a folder structure, the template parts, and then inside that is blocks, and then inside that is whatever you're gonna call your folder, and then the PHP template. All right, so let's change it. It's gonna be called player, and then player PHP. You can call them whatever you want, of course. Category. So category, it comes with some categories already, so you can change it. Or you can create a new category. I'm gonna post a link in the description of this video. That way you know how to do that if you want to. I'm gonna keep it formatting for now. You can change it if you want to. The icon, there's a link in the description of the video so you know the names of the icons if you wanna change them. A cool thing is that you can add an SVG icon. I know it's a little bit more complicated if you don't know what an SVG is or how to create it. I'm gonna change it to admin users, which is like a person. It's like a, like a single person icon, something like that. All right, and then keywords. This is when the people are searching. If you have a lot of blocks, and then you just need to search and find whatever you want. So I'm gonna change it to player, and that's it. I can just leave it player, simple. All right, so if someone search for player, they're gonna find this specific block, okay? All right, so this looks good. And then this is just making sure that this exists and adding it. All right, so let's make sure we create this folders and the player PHP file. So I'm gonna go ahead here, and I'm gonna create a new folder. Template parts. And then inside that folder, we can create another one. Okay, new folder, blocks. And inside this folder, you will have multiple blocks if you're gonna create a lot of blocks. So we're gonna create only one, which is like the player, another folder. And then inside the player folder, we're gonna create that PHP file. So it's gonna be player.php, right? And I'm gonna create another one for the CSS. It's gonna be called player.css. All right, so we have player PHP, player CSS for this style. All right, so let me save this file. And now we're gonna go to WordPress to create the fields. So let's go back here. Let's go to the dashboard. Let's save this page. Let's call it roster because it's gonna be like a theme or something like that. Let's save this draft. All right. And let's go to custom fields. Make sure you have the plugin already installed and active. Okay. So go to your plugins. And here you can see I have Advanced Custom Fields Pro, the version 5.8. Okay, so make sure you have this already activated in your WordPress. Now let's go to custom fields right here. I'm gonna click there. All right, I'm gonna create a new field group. Let's click add new. Let's call the field group player, and then go down here. Whoops. In the post type, let's change it to block. All right, and it is equal to player. Okay, and it's detecting player because we created a player block in our functions.php. So select player, and then after that, make sure you can add the field. So I want to have the name, right? It's going to be text. Let's call this player name. This is the name of the field. It's very important. We're going to use it later. And it's going to be text, and I'm going to make it required. That way, you need to put the name. It's required to put the player's name. Okay. Let's add another field. Let's call this number because this is the number of the player. All right, same thing here, player number. And here we're gonna change, instead of text, we wanna say number, okay? You can make it required. I'm not gonna do it, that's fine. There's a lot of more options here that you can take a look. But I think we're good for now. Then after we can just come back if we wanna add something more, but let's just start with the name and the number of the player, okay? All right, so that's good. Let's go ahead and scroll all the way up and publish. We have this group right now called player. We have a name and a number. All right, and this is a block equal to player. Awesome. So now let's go back to the text editor so we can create our template now that we have all our fields. Okay, so let's go back. And in the template parts blocks player PHP. Let's open that. We're gonna add some stuff here. It's very simple, but this is the part that you can get very, very creative, okay? It can be very simple, it can be very complicated. It all depends what you want here. All I wanna do is displaying the name and the number of the player. So let's get that done. Let's open here a PHP. I'm gonna add like, player block template, like a comment. That way we know. All right, and now we can create our variable. So we need one for the name and another variable for the number. Okay, so $, let's say name equals to get field. And what was the name of the name? Player name. That was the name of the field, okay? So this is why it's very important for you to remember the name of the field because it needs to be there. All right, so what we're gonna do is, if the player name is not defined yet, we're gonna put a placeholder. It can be whatever you want. I'm just gonna put player name here, all right? Simple like that. You don't have to put here actually. You know what? Just player name. Let's keep it very simple. And semicolon, and then the second variable is the number. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna copy this and paste it because it's gonna be kind of the same thing. But instead of player name, it's player number. And here, player number, the placeholder, okay? All right, oh, and change the variable, of course. So let's change it to number. Now down here, let's close this PHP. Oops, there you go. And now down here is when your HTML, okay? So let's open a div here with a class of, let's say, a class of player. Sounds good. And then the name. So let's do a paragraph with a class of player name. Let's close it. And then here we need to add some PHP. So we need to put the name variable, which is gonna get the player name. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's open the PHP. And let's close it. And in between, we need to echo out that name. So echo variable name. All right, it's that simple. So let's just copy and paste this. Let's change the class to player number. You can use whatever class you want. This is just for styling. So we're gonna add some CSS later. And instead of name, is gonna be the variable number. All right, so let's save that. And we are good to go. And that's it. So let's go back to WordPress and let's make sure it works. It's not gonna look beautiful yet, but we just need to make sure it works. So let's go to pages. Let's edit this roster page. Let's see if we can add this block. And look at this. Let's search for it, make sure it works. Player. All right, so we have a player block. Like the icon is like a person, which is the admin -users. And let's click on it. And take a look at this. We have a player name, player number. And here you can see we can add a name. There's a name with a text field and there's a number with a number field. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. So let's add, I don't know, one of my favorite basketball players, Allen Iverson. Oops, sorry. And the number 3. So you can see here that it already changed and it's working. We just need to add some style and do whatever we want. Awesome. So now what I want to do is add an image. So let's go back to the text editor because I want to add an image right here. So let's create the code here and then we're going to go ahead and create the custom field. So let's go here. Let's copy this. Let's paste it. Let's call it, we can call it photo or image, whatever we want. Let's see, we can name it player photo. And here, instead of text, I want to add a image, a placeholder image. Okay, so I have a link here. I'm just going to copy and paste it. Here you go. So this is just like a placeholder. You want to see it later, how it looks. All right, and now I'm going to add this image right here at the top. So image, source. And now inside the source attribute, I'm going to add that variable. So let's go PHP. Let's close it. Let's echo out the photo. All right. So what I want to do is I want to get the URL. Okay. So let's make sure that we go back to WordPress and we create that So let's save this draft. It's already saved. Let's go to custom fields. Let's go to the player group. And let's create a new field right here. So this is going to be the photo. Remember, it's going to be called player photo. And this is going to be an image. All right. And make sure the return value is the image URL. This is what I want. Maybe you want something else. Preview size thumbnail. Yes, that's perfect. And all right, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and update this. Now we have the photo field. Let's go back. Make sure you save this. All right, saved. Go back to WordPress. Let's go back to the page and let's see if the photo works. There you go. So now if you click this block, we have name, number, photo, and there's a button to actually add whatever image you want. So this is a placeholder. This is the URL that I added if the photo was not defined. So I'm going to change it. Let's add image. And you can hear I have Allen Iverson. So let's go select him. And there you go. We have the photo, the name, and the number. You can keep adding stuff like, for example, his position or maybe a little bit of bio, whatever you want. So, but the important thing is this block is already working. So let's add some style, maybe some basic style that I already have. So if you want to add your own CSS for this specific block, like I did here, you can see I have a CSS inside my player folder. Let's go back to the functions.php. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to write enqueue style. All right, the arrow. I'm going to put, remember, we are in the 2016 child theme. So it's a child theme. So make sure that you're pointing to the child theme, not the parent. So I'm going to do get style sheet underscore directory underscore URI, and then concatenate with a dot. And here we're going to add the string of, and it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be this, but instead of player PHP, it's going to be the CSS. All right, I'm going to save that. And I have already some CSS here, so I'm just going to open my CSS. I'm just going to copy and paste it for somewhere around here. Let's paste this. And you can see I have like player. I'm adding some padding and text align, and then the photo and the player name, the font size, and the player number font size is huge. So let's save that and let's see if it works. So let's go back to WordPress. Let's reload the page. And of course, it doesn't work. There's always something going on. So maybe there is in the functions.php, I missed something. Oh, there you go. So where you're getting this path, make sure you have here at the beginning a /, because if this is not going to give you the /, we need to add it right here. So is a very small detail that can give you a headache. So let's go back now. Let's reload the page again. And here we go. So we have now a little bit of more style. It's not like a lot, but it's something. That way you know that you can do it. Something that I want to do, I want to add the hash in front of the number. So we can go back here, very simple, to our player PHP. And here I can add the hash. So it's always going to have that in front of the number. Let's save that. And something that I need to add is a class to the image. So let's go CSS is player photo. So let's go ahead and add that class. Player photo. All right, saved. Let's go back. Let's reload the page again. And here you go. So we have now the photo is smaller because of the CSS. We have the name and we have a huge number. All right, and you can just easily change all this right here. So a cool thing is that you can go ahead and add, like, let's remove this one. Add columns, for example, and we can add it as columns. So here's that player. There's another block, another player, and you can see that are in columns. And if you go to the columns, you can see here that you can add more. So let's add another one, and you can keep adding stuff here. Another player, for example. So you can keep adding players and players. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. And let's preview this page to see how it looks. There you go. And then you can add to another blog. Let's say Michael Jordan. Let's say I don't have an image for that one. Let's preview this page. And here you go. You can have your roster. This is a template. Let me change the template of this page. So let's go to document, page template. Let's use blank page. Let's preview again. All right, and now we only have the players. Oh, actually is Allen Iverson, not Inverson. We can go back and fix it very quickly. Let's click here. Let's remove that N. Let's preview. Perfect. And that's it. Subscribe if you want to keep learning, and click on the bell icon to receive notifications every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.